Okay, boys and girls, this is going to be our review for our Chapter 12 test. So let's go over a couple things. This is our formulas, and I have this as a PDF file that you can download to work on for your review. Now look, a couple things. So for your review, you could do one of two things. You could do your review while you watch the video, so you do a problem, pause it, do a problem, and then check how I did it. You could do it like that. You could try the whole review yourself because I have it online there for you. You could check your answers on the review. I also have a PDF file that has all the answers. I also have a second review for you. Or you could just check your answers by watching the video. All right, so let's just go over this. So we have a few formulas. So a cube, the surface area of a cube is 6 times s squared. S, remember, is the side, or you could say 6 times e squared. E is the edge. Volume is s cubed or e cubed. Surface area for a rectangular prism, you could do basically one of two. So it's 2 times L times W, length times width, plus 2 times HW, height and width, and then add 2 times length and height. Or what I like to do is do LW plus HW plus LH, and then times that by 2. So basically you're using every number twice. So if your numbers are, let's say, 3, 2, and 4, you do 3 times 2, which is 6, plus 3 times 4, which is 12, and then what we didn't use is 2 times 4 is 8. And then you times the whole thing by 2, so it's 20, 26, 26 times 2 is 52. Volume's pretty easy. We've done that many times, length times width times height. Or what you could do is this, figure out the base first. So 3 times 2 is the base. That would be 6, and then 6 times 4. Or 3 times 2 times 4. It's up to you. Okay, next, prisms. Just a regular prism, the surface area, you are going to have the sum of areas of each face. So you got to figure out each face, add it all up. To figure out the volume, you figure out the base first, which this one is a triangular prism. So you need to figure out the area for that base. So area of the triangle, which is 1/2 base times height. And then times that by the height of the prism itself. Same thing with any other prism. If you find the area of the base, you times it by the height of the prism, and that will give you your answer. One last one is a square bottom pyramid. Square bottom pyramid, we just really need to worry about the surface area. Surface area is you find the area of the square. So you're adding the square, and you're going to add it to the 4 triangles. And the reason why this is only 2 there is because, remember, a triangle is 1/2 base times height. There's 4 of them. So these simplify, so it's really 2 times base times height, and that's for the triangles, don't forget. All right, next. So here's what you're going to do. So what you need to do is look at the prisms, and then you have to match it to the nets. So what I'd like you to do is pause, then hit play, and I'll show you the answers. Okay, so number 1, this is a triangular prism. So it's going to be C because the bases here are triangles. So that's C. 2, pretty easy. That's A, that's a cube. 3 is a square bottom pyramid. So 3 is going to be B. 4 is a rectangular prism, which is right here. So that's E. And then finally, this is just a regular pyramid. So that's going to be D. Okay, next you're going to do 6 and 7, and then do 8 and 9. Well, actually do 6 and 7. I'll go over it, and then we'll pause and then do 8 and 9. So you're finding just the surface area of 6 and 7. So go ahead and try that, and then we'll go over it. Okay, so for number 6, area will equal 6 times s squared. So area equals 6 times s squared. So you have 8 here, so it's 8 squared. So area equals 6 times 8 times 8, 64. And then what you're going to do is you're going to do 6 times 64, and 6 times 64 is going to equal 384. So it's 384 inches squared. Next one, what you're going to do is figure out the area of the square bottom first. So that would be 8 squared. So that's going to be 64. And then what you have here is triangles. So you have 1/2 times the base times the height. So the base is 8 times the height is 10. And don't forget you have 4 of them. So again, I like to simplify there. So that's going to be 2 times 8 times 10. 8 times 10 is 80 times 2. 80 times 2 is 160 plus the 64. So we get 224 meters squared. Okay, so now you're going to figure out the volume for the next two. And don't forget, for the triangular prism, figure out the base first. And this is your base. And then this is actually the height. Because if you flip it, this would be the height. Okay, go ahead. Pause and hit play. Okay, so the volume for a cube is side cubed. So it's 7 times 7 times 7. So it's 49. 49 times 7 is going to be 343. And remember, that's centimeters cubed. Next, we have to figure out the area of the base. So the base is 1/2 base times height. So the base will equal 1/2. The base is 6 times the height is 5. So I like to take half of 6 is 3. 3 times 5 is 15. So it's 15 feet. Now we times it by 3 because it's base times height. So it's 15 times 3, which we know is 45 feet cubed. Don't forget cube it. Oops, sorry about that. Next, okay, so what you're going to do is this. We'll go over number 10, then we'll do 11 later. So you're going to figure out, it says there's a bunch of cubes here. You need to find out the volume of one cube for A, and then what you're going to do is find the volume of the whole shape. So what you're really going to do is find the volume of the one cube, and then you're just going to add up the cubes and times it by that volume, and that will give you the volume of the whole shape. So it says that each edge is 3. So remember, it's a cube, so it's S cubed is the formula. So pause, then hit play. Okay, so for this one, it's going to be 3 cubed for 1. This is for A. So if we have 3 cubed, that's 3 times 3 times 3. So it's 9. 9 times 3 is 27. So it's going to be 27 inches cubed. And we figure out how many cubes we have here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So if there's 4 in the front, there's 4 in the back. So that's 8. Then we have 9, 10, because there's 2 sitting on top. So it's 27 times 10, which you all know is 270 inches cubed. Okay, so let's talk about number 11. Number 11 says this. I'm going to help you get started. It says a fish tank is 50 centimeters long. So we'll just draw a little picture. Doesn't have to be great. So it's 50 centimeters long. It's 30 centimeters wide, and it's 40 high. Okay, so it contains water at the height of 28. So if I draw a line here, it's at 28 right now. So this, if I fill in right now, it's at 28 centimeters high. It says how many more cubic centimeters of water are needed to fill the tank to a height of 35. So what we want to do is go to 35. Let's say this is 35 here. We want to figure out what is the red part. So there's several ways to do it. One way I would do is all you have to do is figure out the height here, and you already have the base, the length and the width. So if you figure out the height, that's going to tell you that's how much water we need to add. So you're trying to figure out how much water you need to add. So try it, and then I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so for this one, what we need to do is to figure out volume. It's base times height, or length times width times height, since it's a rectangular prism. So what we need to do is figure out the height. Well, the height is we start at 28. We got to get to 35 because we want to fill it to 35 centimeters. So that is 7. So when you subtract, you get 7. So we have 50 times 30 times a height of 7. And this will tell me how much we need right here. Okay? So 50 times 30, I have 2 zeros. 3 times 5 is 15 times 7. So I need to do 1,500 times 7. I would do 5 times it was 15 times 7 first, which is 105. Oops, sorry. And then we're going to have to add 2 zeros. So the answer is 10,500 centimeters cubed. That's how much water you need to add. Okay, so let's try 12. You're going to work on 12. So 12 is this. Find the surface area of the square pyramid. So they give you the square bottom here. They give you the base. So what you need to do is figure out each side first. If you figure out each side, that's going to give you the base for the triangles to help you. Okay? All right. And they do tell you that the height is 16 inches for the triangle, so we're good with that. So try it, and then I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so the base here is 196. We need the square root, and that will give us what the base is. So the area is 196. We want to figure out just one of the sides because it's this side versus this side times that side. So it's side times side. So to do square root, if you don't have a calculator, what you could do is start with the number that you know. So it has to be the same number. So 10 times 10 I'm going to do. So 10 times 10 we know is 100. Yeah, that's too small because I want to get to 196. So try 12. 12 times 12 is 144. Still too small. Let me try 14. So 14 times 14 is, oh, got it, 196. So that means this, that each base here or side is 14. So now what I need to do is I need to figure out how much the triangles are. So let me just quickly erase this. And okay, so the triangles, remember, are 1/2 base times height. So the base now is 14 times the height, which is 16. But don't forget we have 4 of them. So if I simplify here, I get 2 times 14 times 16. So if I do 2 times 14, I get 28. So it's 28 times 16. So 28 times 16 is 448. Now that's just for the triangles. I need to add back in the base of the square. So I add 196. And if I add 448 plus 196, I'm going to get 644. And that's inches squared. Okay, boys and girls, for number 13, let's just go over a couple things first, then you're going to pause and hit play. So they give us the area of, the volume of the rectangular prism, which is 441. And they tell us what the bases, the edges are. And it's a square base. So what they want to know is the height first, and then we need to do the surface area. So what we do know is this. We know our formula, area equals base times height. I did that wrong. It's not area, it's volume. So we know volume equals base times height. So if I look at this, we got a couple things. We got volume, which is 441, equals the base. The base is 7 times 7, which is 49, times the height. Now, you need to solve for the height. So figure that out. Then when you're done, you're going to do the surface area. And if you remember the surface area, and I'll write it down here, is really you have to use every number twice, and then you add it up and times it by 2. So it's 2 times length times width plus length times height plus width times height. And then multiply it by 2. Okay, so do those two, and then we'll go over them. So pause and hit play. Okay, so for this one, what you're going to do is divide by 49. And if you divide by 49, that will give you the height. So it's 441 divided by 49. We're just doing a little algebra. So the height equals 9. So this height is 9. Now, and that's 9, feet. Now we need to do the surface area. So the surface area, I'm going to do 2 times length times width, which is 7 times 7, plus 7 times 9, plus 7 times 9 again. Okay, so we have 2 times 49 plus 63 plus 63. So we could just add up 49 plus 63 plus 63, and you get 175. So it's 2 times 175. And when you times that by 2, you get 350. And that's going to be feet squared. All right, boys and girls, don't forget to try the second review. The answers are online. Direct message me, or you could post a question if you have in the discussion group. All right, and then tomorrow we do have our final test, and you may use the formula sheet if you need. You can use a calculator. You can use a calculator for obviously this too. All right, boys and girls, have a great day.